What's going on, people of YouTube land? Kimchi Chris here, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, I wanted to review the brand new record from one of my favorite bands of all time. The record's called We're All Alright, and the band is Cheap Trick. Now, if somehow you're not familiar with Cheap Trick in 2017, I'm not really sure what to tell you. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're a classic rock band that's been around since the 70s, and they've done a whole lot of stuff. Look it up, learn your facts, whatever. Congrats clicking on this video if you're not familiar with them, but for everyone else, let's just dive right into this brand new one. Now, assuming you are familiar with the band, you probably know that the title We're All Alright is a reference to a classic Cheap Trick song, one of their bigger hits, Surrender, and as a result, you would assume that this record is somewhat of a throwback record, and you'd be right on that, in all honesty. It does sound like a lot of their 70s output, but to be fair, I don't know if I'd really call it a throwback record as much as them just continuing to do what they do best. Outside of some of that mid-80s output, Cheap Trick has never really deviated from their original sound of just in-your-face rock and roll with power pop leanings, catchy lyrics, great guitar solos, great hooks, and just amazing musicianship overall. And as a result of never deviating from that path, as opposed to some of their contemporaries, these new records that they've been putting out recently, because they dropped one last year as well, have sounded really good. They sound relevant, the band still sounds young, fresh, relevant. They don't sound tired and old, and it's just what you want out of Cheap Trick. You want a powerful record. So the record opens with a track called You Got It Going On, and immediately it sounds like a song that could have been on any of their heyday, late 70s, early 80s output. It's a great song, great opener, straightforward rock and roll song about a girl. What else could you really want from this band? And with the second track, the band just continues this trend of straightforward rock and roll. The second track is called Long Time Coming. It has a Ramones reference, it's catchy, it's rockin', and honestly, it's the type of music that's meant to be played in arenas and stadiums across the world, which hopefully means they will be playing a lot of this material on the road. And from there, the record just continues with more of the same, which is not a bad thing in this case. Straightforward, rock and roll, catchy, hooky, great musicianship. Love this band, and this record does not disappoint on any level. The song Radio Lover, that's just a great, straightforward rock and roll song as well. You gotta check that one out if you're just checking out a couple of the tracks from this record. Brand New Name on an Old Tattoo is another highlight track if you ask me. If you're not checking out this whole thing, that's another one to look into. Basically, I feel that's some type of reference to the band here because they really do feel like an old tattoo with some new tricks on it. Haha, see what I did there? If you get the regular version of this record, it ends with a track called Rest of My Life, which is a very fitting ending, in all honesty, to this record. It's a little bit more introspective and things like that than some of the other tracks. It's not as straightforward rock and roll, but it works really well and it really does sum things up. That being said, I would suggest picking up the deluxe version that gives you 3 bonus tracks, because out of those 3 bonus tracks, 2 of them are some of the best tracks on this record, in all honesty. Blackberry Way and If You Still Want My Love are these 2 bonus tracks, and they just ooze with Beatles-esque melodies. Now, Cheap Trick through their whole career has flirted with sounding like the Beatles quite a lot, but these tracks really do sound like what I assume the Beatles would sound like in 2017 if they were somehow still around and making music. As a result, these tracks are great. They're some of the highlights of the record and some of the poppiest, and have some of the best melodies. I would definitely check these 2 out, and why they were left off the regular album is beyond me, because I think they are just right up there with the other tracks, if not even a little bit better. I would definitely check those out. Definitely, throw down a couple extra dollars to get the deluxe version, or if you're listening on Spotify, listen to the deluxe version. It just makes sense. They're both there. These tracks are great, and they are really an amazing way to completely finish this album with the bonus tracks here. So I am very, very, very pleased with this record. Last year's Bang Zoom Crazy Hello was a pretty good Cheap Trick record, but I didn't feel it was up there with the classics. This one, on the other hand, I do feel is up there with the classics, and since they put out 2 records 2 years in a row, I really hope they keep that pace up, because the material's just getting better. These guys are road tested, they're touring all the time, they're now putting out new music all the time, and that's so impressive for a band of their age. If this is the kind of music they keep putting out, then I hope they have another 10 years in them somehow, because this record doesn't disappoint on any level. As for a rating, I'm giving this thing a 9 out of 10. I think this is almost a perfect record. It isn't quite as good as their classics, in all honesty. In Color, Budokan, Dream Police, things like that are still a little bit higher on the list, and those are perfect records, but this one is right up there, just a little bit below them, and it's a great, great record. I highly recommend you check this out if you have any interest in Cheap Trick or rock and roll of any sort. You will not be disappointed in this record at all, I can guarantee you that. And that about does it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this record, or just Cheap Trick in general. And definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the little alarm so you actually get the updates. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree with me that this is an awesome record. And thank you guys so very much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video.